Hey everyone, we have oil production facilities in a whole country shutting down. We have an electrical grid in another country shutting down. We have food processing plants being shut down. We have food processing fires. We have multiple labor strikes, dock workers as well as truckers. Lots and lots of stuff to get to. We got a jam-packed video, so you're going to want to hang around till the very end. I am not going to waste your time even 1 second. All right, folks, so in the background of all this craziness, we of course had the stock market drop around 4%, depending on which index you're looking at. And that was mostly due to a cryptocurrency implosion called Celsius, which is supposed to be a stable coin. That imploded and has taken Bitcoin and Ether down with it. Also, on top of that, we have the Japanese bonds blowing up. So the Japanese have been borrowing money like nobody's business, and the Japanese central bank owns over 50% of the entire Japanese stock market. It's just ridiculous what they've been doing over there. It's finally starting to implode on them. And with it, backed by the US dollars, they are looking like that may be taking us with them. In addition to that, we have concern over the CPI report that came out on Friday. There was a drop on Friday, but Monday it has continued. Fear is that the federal U.S. Not Department of anything, it's an independent organization that is a puppet for the U.S. government. But the U.S. Federal Reserve is going to hike rates now possibly 0.75% on Wednesday. So a lot of this is trying to front run that. All right, so that's the background. We're seeing craziness happening in the markets. What will happen the rest of today, this morning, I don't know. We may get a light bounce for a little bit. We may continue to just crash and plunge lower. Like I said, watch your money out there in the stock market. Make good informed choices. Don't react emotionally. Hopefully you have a plan. Your stock, your brokerage account is being managed, or you're managing it. Hopefully there's a plan and that you are managing your risks. All right, jumping into the issues with food shortages, of course, there was a fire at the JBS meatpacking plant in Michigan. Not many people reporting on that. The plant was eventually saved. It was not a complete loss, but there was significant damage done to the building. JBS, of course, is the largest meat packing business in the world. It's Brazilian, and it has suffered damage there in Michigan. All right, there was a fire at an oil terminal down in Louisiana. We had a fire over in Texas at a gas loading facility we just mentioned before, but now this is an oil loading terminal in Louisiana, one of the larger of in the United States. Fire has brought that terminal offline. How long it will take to repair and bring it back online, they do not know as of yet. All right, there was another fire out there that was covered a little more extensively by some other YouTube channels and such. In Wisconsin, Festive Food is a large food processing plant, taking the food and putting it into packaging. And that plant has suffered extensive damage. Whether the building will be saved at all is not looking good. It was a massive plant, and it looks like it may be a complete loss. The pictures out of that are pretty stunning. All right, so let's move on to some strikes here. We have 22,000 West Coast dock workers in the United States threatening to go on strike. That's not what we need right now, honestly. The West Coast shipping and West Coast ports are way backlogged already, and there's about to be a wave of freight coming from across the ocean in Dragon Country very shortly. That's going to hit us very soon, folks. Also, South Korea, they have a massive trucker strike going on. It is already impacting. It is on day 8, I believe, 7 or 8. it is not being resolved, and it is already starting to cause plants over in Korea to shut down. The largest steel plant in Korea has shut down now because they can't move the steel once it's fixed. Once it's produced, they can't move it off site, and also they can't get the raw resources that they need. They produce a lot of semiconductors over in South Korea, a lot of electronics. Samsung is a Korean brand, right? And we have multiple automotive vehicles that are produced in South Korea as well. This trucker strike is not good. All right, we got another threat of a strike here. U.S. Foods along the east coast of the United States, running the U.S. Foods warehouses, which mostly provides food and food distribution to like restaurants and such like that. This would mean a lot of restaurants would suddenly stop getting inventory, which is obviously massive. That strike, if it goes into effect, will bring a lot of restaurants down to their knees very quickly. All right, as promised, Libya. Libya has shut down its oil fields, all of them. They have stopped production of oil, which is already affecting oil prices across the world. Is your gas price going to come down soon? It's not looking good, folks. Keep your tanks topped up. I know it's super painful, and I've been avoiding it even. I've been playing a little bit with I have some gas in reserve, so I've been playing a little with my gas tank. What I'm seeing out there in the news tomorrow, this morning, I'm going to bite the bullet and get out there and fill up my tank. German dock workers are threatening strikes. They are doing some warning strikes because they know the impact that will be if they go on full strike. So they're doing some warning strikes to let them know before they actually go on full strike. But that is in the docks of Hamburg, as well as, I believe, one or two other main ports there. But Hamburg is the big one. All right, Smithfield Meatpacking Plant in California and Arizona, two meatpacking plants out west. California and Arizona are looking to shut down. They are going to be starting to shut down in the next number of months here because the regulations and the cost of doing business out there are just too high. That is the only Smithfield plant in California, and they are going to close it and move their operations elsewhere. No word yet of them opening any plants, just them closing these two plants. They've also announced that they're going to decrease their pig herds in Utah, which apparently are used to feed some of those plants. All right, Iowa. The beef processing plant there that was being planned to be built and was actually starting construction, it has now been canceled. So just one more blow to the meatpacking industry out there. Nigeria's electrical grid has collapsed. So they are working to bring that back online. But if you've been in third world countries, you know that electricity can be a lot more finicky than in first world countries. But folks, it just shows that, I mean, when we talk about power grids collapsing, it's not like some thing that could never happen. We see this in other countries. It was like a year or two ago when the Pakistani entire electrical grid collapsed. I mean, you have one place after the next, after the next, after the next, and people living in first world countries like the United States, Canada, elsewhere will say, well, it could never happen here, and that's just not true. That's just not true. It's harder to happen here, but the thing is we continue to take a lot of power plants offline. The news that is right now is that Texas yesterday set another record high of electricity used in one day. The heat wave in Texas is causing those electricity usages to be so high. It is straining the grid, mark my words. The heat also degrades the solar panels, so it is a smaller portion of the grid, but solar panels start dropping in efficiency as it gets hotter. All right. We got big news here, too, that Nicaragua has actually just invited Russian troops and possibly Russian missiles to come into Nicaragua. For those of you needing a refresher on the map, Nicaragua is between Costa Rica and Honduras down in Central America. It is far too close to the United States for comfort for Russian troops to be in, and particularly Russian missiles in. Also, we have Mexico has come out as against NATO and United States operations in Eastern Europe, saying that they do not support what is happening. They have taken the Eastern European flag off of their website or Facebook profile, so to speak. They are no longer on board with what's going on there. They have joined a long list of people who are countries that are very unhappy with the way the United States and NATO are operating and threatening world peace out there. All right, folks, that's a lot of news to throw at you. Get in the comments section down below if you have any conversation that you want to have about any of those news sources. Please do keep your news coming to me. If you have any insider information from your business or your industry, don't hesitate to shoot me an email. I do read all the emails. I don't always necessarily reply back to them, especially if you send me links. If you just send me links to articles and stuff like that, I tend not to reply back. But folks, keep yourselves safe out there. Please do keep stocking up, take things seriously, and make sure that where you are in the markets with your money, that you are comfortable where those things are. All right, folks, if you like this video, you also want to check out this video over here. Otherwise, I will see you later. Steve Poplar, out.